Welcome back to another episode of the Manufacturing Culture Podcast, your one-stop shop for insightful discussions about the world of manufacturing. I'm your host, Jim Mayer, and today we have quite literally our most requested episode so far to date of the podcast. From the bustling factories of Poland to the cozy crafting corners of IKEA's American suppliers, from the vibrant culture of Italy to the good old steel-hearted Spartanburg, we've traversed borders and crossed the Atlantic with today's guest. She's worked with heavy trucks and light sofas. She's crunched numbers and built teams that make things happen, all while navigating the waters of multiple international relations. Ladies and gentlemen, please fasten your seatbelts as we welcome the HR maestro, the indomitable, the international, Magdalena Domzalska-Pol. With a career that has spanned continents, industries, and over a decade, Magdalena has made her mark as a leader in employee engagement, training and development, benefits, compensation, and labor relations. After beginning her career with Com40 Limited in Poland, she swiftly moved up the ranks and crossed the Atlantic to work in Virginia with EBI LLC, where they manufacture, believe it or not, sofas and mattresses for IKEA. Now at the helm of human resources at Spartanburg Steel Products, she's manufacturing more than just steel products. She's creating a robust, thriving culture that underpins the heartbeat of manufacturing in America. On top of all this, she's a doting mother to her two sons, Jacob and Julian. She's a proud U.S. citizen since 2022 and holds a master's degree in international relations. Talk about wearing multiple hats. But don't let that steel exterior fool you. Our guest today is as much at home nurturing a vibrant, efficient workforce as she is cheering on her son's soccer games or exploring the global cuisine that her rich international experience has exposed her to. So buckle up, dear listeners, because we're about to journey through the dynamic world of manufacturing, seen through the lens of one of its leading lights. We're going to unpack what it means to shape a culture, to build relationships across borders, and to do it all with unwavering passion and dedication. Get ready to stamp, assemble, and engage as we dive into an in-depth conversation with the amazing Magdalena. Let's roll. Hi, Magdalena. Welcome to the podcast. How are you doing?
How are you? How are you today?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you for asking. It's a beautiful day. You're in Greenville, Spartanburg area. I can only imagine that the humidity is like a wet blanket right now.
It is.
That sounds absolutely miserable. There's a reason I live in Phoenix. I don't mind the heat, but the humidity absolutely crushes me.
I still love the weather and I don't complain.
That's amazing. I spent a little time in Greenville this spring, I guess spring, early summerish, and it was already too nearly unbearable for me. I just don't do well in humidity. That's why I travel the country the way I do. I go to dry places when it could be humid, etc. So, but thank you very much for being on today. We're very thrilled. We're very honored. We had Mark Whitten on a couple of months ago. And because of the conversation that Mark and I had so many guests reach out, say that they couldn't wait to have you as a guest on the show or hear you as a guest on the show. So that's how this all came about. Welcome to the podcast. That's amazing.
Well, Jim, thanks for the invite, and I'm very happy to hear it. I'm glad to share our experiences.
Well, and I think you do bring such a unique take on everything, because our standard guests are the executive leaders of organizations, and you're the one on the front lines making it happen with engagement and culture and Spartanburg 2.0. Or is it Spartanburg 2.0, SSP 2.0?
SSP 2.0.
Yeah. Okay. So you're on the front lines. You're the one who's making it happen. So I'm excited to have you on and dive into this a little bit.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So first question, Magdalena, is always, what has been your cultural journey at Spartanburg Steel Products. Where was the culture when you joined? Where do you think it is now? And really, where do you want to get it to in the future?
I like that you used word journey because I always say that building positive culture of accountability is not the destination, but is a journey.
Mm-hmm.
So I joined SSP 3 years ago, just shortly after Mark Witten, our CEO. And as you mentioned, with the vision SSP 2.0. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure Mark mentioned that we wanted to show our respect and appreciation for the past, but also emphasize the need for the changes. And the company with 60 years tenure needed definitely makeover. So we started this journey with creating better work environment. And I mean that literally. Cleaning, decluttering, painting, polishing, new lighting. You can imagine 60-year-old facility. So there was a lot of work to be done.
Absolutely.
And I said we, and I really mean it because entire leadership team twice per week was cleaning facility for many months.
Wow.
And in the same time, we focus a lot of on people, on the employee engagement program. And it's good to look in the past and to see what was good then, because there were many things in the past done what employees liked, but they were dropped at some point. So we picked up what was dropped, and we added many other things. And we now have meals together. We have beautiful live events, contests for employees, newsletter, all this cool stuff. And we focus heavily on communication. I think that this is main point. This is key core of every culture, communication. Mm-hmm. So we have all employee meetings almost every month, coffee chat, ask the president, all that stuff. So as I mentioned, SSP has been here 60 years. Mm-hmm. And we have some of the employees who's been with us 40, 50 years.
No kidding.
For real. So that was big change for me as I came from the new company. So if you have done something for many years, the same way, work on the same assets with the same people, the same way, change is hard.
Yeah, absolutely. Change is hard for people who haven't been doing it for a long time, but it's super hard if you've got that kind of a tenure at a place.
Yes, and even if the change is for better, just as a humans, we just don't like change. We don't like to get out of our comfort zone. Yeah. So we have had many challenges, but we have been working through them. I like to say that culture here is evolving, but we definitely see the shift in the positive direction.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And where do you envision, what is SSP 3.0? What's, the future of culture there?
So 3.0, we always will be focused on the people, but 3.0 is focused mainly on technology. So this is more about the process improvements, about technology, about new stuff which will make us to be more efficient. So this is what the 3.0. There is entire program regarding SSP 3.0. We feel that 2.0, we have done good job, and it's time to move on. And we work closely with our continuous improvement department, and we implement many new technologies, many new solutions, which will allow us to come to deeply to 21st century. I know it's been 23 years, but we still have long way ahead of us in SSP together.
Yeah, wonderful. And I was kind of saying that tongue in cheek with SSP 3.0, but now knowing Mark the way I do, and the couple of conversations that you and I have had, it makes sense that you guys have already started looking at what 3.0 looks like. So that's really neat. That's
there is
amazing.
Entire plan and structure. So this is not just the empty words. We have the plan for it. So we can definitely provide the details and talk about that another time. Yes.
Wow, that's impressive. And so when you say technology, are you talking software to support employees? Are you talking updated machinery? What do you think?
Both sides.
Okay.
We implemented system which helps with the tracking efficiency. So it's Funnel Cloud. It will help with the maintenance on the preventive maintenance side. So that's on the process side. On the HR side, we implementing on paperless onboarding. We are converting all employees' files to the digital files. So there is a lot of on around the company. This is not in one particular department. This doesn't apply just to the operations. Everybody is involved and everybody has piece in it.
Wow. And so working for and with Mark, how does he reach out to other leaders within the organization to get you all moving in the right in that similar direction?
Well, Mark is very charismatic. It's really the best leader I ever worked for. And I had two really leaders, and both they were great because they had a lot of understanding for HR. But Mark takes everything to the different level. He gives us a lot of autonomy. So he allows us to run departments as we want. However, with the common vision. So common vision is now technology. So we are responsible to come up with the things, what we want to improve, what we want to change in our departments together.
Got it. That makes total sense. Magdalena, let's talk a little bit more about you and your journey. Not only to SSP, but in general. I mentioned in the intro, you worked at EBI. Talk to us about the transition from furniture manufacturing to automotive body manufacturing, and how the cultural differences between the two industries exist, and how does that shape your approach to HR?
Funny. I will share a short story with you about because I got this question 3 years ago, exactly 3 years ago, when a recruiter reached out to me about the job in SSP. He asked me what EBI manufactured. So after I told him furniture, he was like, well, the company would prefer somebody like HR leader from automotive. And I was like, why? Why? To me, people have very similar needs, no matter what industry. They want to be treated with dignity and respect, and they want to be heard. So I personally don't think there's huge difference between the industries, just with one disclosure, as long as you are in the manufacturing environment. Of course, no matter what environment, always dignity and respect. But I know that there would be different needs in the hospitals, in the financial institutions. Sure. But in general, if you are in the manufacturing environment, the needs and the problems are very similar. To me, the main differences between those two companies, EBI and SSP, would be that EBI was newly open. When I came to Virginia, Danville, Virginia, we were starting the company. So we were building everything from the ground. I came from Poland, from headquarters, to create HR department, the policies, rules needed in the workplace. Yep. I quickly learned that not everything or almost nothing would work in Poland would work in the States. So I had to adjust few things. But again, change is hard. Yeah. So, however, when you come to the new company and employees were coming to new established company, EBI, I feel that they understood that since you come to the new company, there will be new rules, new policies, which you have to follow. On another hand, SSP was well established. So, if you come to the company, if you've been in the company for many years, and then somebody tells you to do it something differently, that's bigger challenge. So that's the difference to me between the two companies. I don't think that the issue is the industry. I think that the reason for it is that just the tenure, that the company has been here 60 years and the older company was just new. So SSP has gone through many changes over these 3 years. New rules, new expectations, and the new rules regarding coming to work, new rules regarding production processes, personnel changes, because we believe in the right people in the right seats, new customers. So there are many things for us as a company and for our employees to go through. But again, communication is the key. I mentioned at the beginning, communication and a certain degree of flexibility. So we talk with our employees a lot, we communicate to make sure that they feel more comfortable in this new environment.
I like it. So along those lines of talking about multiple industries, let's talk about living and working in multiple countries and really how that's shaped your approach to HR. So how have let's back up and say you've lived in multiple countries, right? From Poland, Italy, UK, US now. All four of those countries have unique cultures, unique ways of doing business. So how have those different places shaped your leadership style and approach to cultivating that culture at SSP or any place that you've worked?
After living in these old places, I was sure that I could easily adjust everywhere. So when I came to US, I think I was a bit overconfident because to be honest, beginning in US was difficult for me. And I had thought many times about the reason, because again, wherever I went, wherever I lived, wherever I worked, it was pretty easy time for me to adjust. And I think there were a few reasons why I had these difficulties. One of them was small town, Danville, Virginia. I'm not sure if you have ever been there. It's a very small town, 3 miles from North Carolina border. It used to be a nice town, but after one of the biggest companies shut down, and it was textile industry, went to China, it became a ghost town.
Yeah.
So that wasn't really my cup of tea, I would say, living in such a small town. Many people, I was the first foreign person they met, they talked to in their life. So that was different.
Yeah.
So they had problems with understanding me, and I had tens of interviews every day since we were growing company. But it was somehow frustrating because no one had problems understanding me in UK. So that was initial challenge. On personal side, I will share. I came to States with my husband, and we were newly married. So this was also adjustment. New married couple.
Yep.
And from American side, I had somebody who really helped me. Adi joined my team. It was around 1 year of me being in US, and she helped me tremendously to get American perspective. And I think it's very important to have somebody like that. I didn't know and I didn't think about that then, but when she came, we learned from each other a lot. We worked 8 years together until I moved to South Carolina. And I always say that she taught me how to be American.
Well, thank you, Addie. Wherever you are, if you're listening to this, you might be the next guest here.
That's right.
On the podcast.
I will have her listen to the podcast.
Please.
Addie, I believe I helped her to become a HR leader, and she grew up to be a great one. So after I left the company, she became a HR manager at EBI. So I will be forever grateful for the help, for the perspective through many conversations we had, and that was really that was really important for me that time. So in general, working in different countries, of course, it helps you to get new perspective. It widens your horizons.
Sure.
It shapes you somehow, but you never ready for. You may think you are ready, but as history showed, I thought I was ready, but I was not.
Sure. Well, and I think that two things that I got out of that is, first of all, great for you to be open to learning the perspective, right? Regardless of where you'd been before. I think that a lot of people who are in HR roles don't necessarily take the time to understand whether it's a regional or company or existing culture that exists, and being open to learning from somebody, right? So good for you for being open to
Yeah.
that from Addie. But then also, what struck me the most was you trained Addie, not necessarily knowing that you were going to SSP, right? You were together
No.
for 8 years, but you built her up and you trained her to have your job. And I think that that's one thing that leaders so often aren't able to do, is train the people who work directly for them to either have their job or a job above them. So I think that's really important, to point out that you were able to take Addie and her and help craft and mold her into this amazing HR leader at EBI. I think that's wonderful of you.
Yeah, she Addie she was very bright. She was absolutely picking up on the things very easily and quickly. And what I like about working with her was that about the feedback. We had very good working relationship, and the feedback really went both ways.
Sure.
And I appreciate that. I always encourage my people to share the feedback with me, because I'm human too. I want to do better. I want to be better person. I want to be better leader. I want to do better. So when somebody shares the feedback with me, sometimes, I need a moment. I was like, okay, let me think about that. And it doesn't have to be personally feedback about me. It can be about the situation. And again, and she did that. And I was like, okay, let me think about that. And we did have these conversations very often. And I believe that I am who I am right now, big part thanks to her. And I think that I hope that the leader as she is, we are still in touch. So we talking, we texting. Now she's about to have second baby, second daughter. So yes, so we talking, and she mentions that too. That working together was very, very important for her and very beneficial. So yes, story. That was just side story. Yes.
I love it. I love side stories on the show. And Addie, when you do listen to this, the podcast is a great thing to listen to while you're feeding children, downtime that you may have. It may also help your baby get to sleep. So maybe you can use it as a sound machine. Who knows?
That's right.
So Magdalena, as you then started with SSP 3 years ago, what are some of the initial challenges that you faced? Because you joined roughly right after Mark, and so SSP 2.0 wasn't in place yet. So what were some of those challenges you guys faced regarding company culture in the early days, and really how did you work to address them?
So what we identify very early days, it was lack of accountability and high absenteeism. That they were our two biggest issues. Maybe I will add lack of care, but what what I mean that employees felt that company didn't care for them, so they didn't care for the company.
Sure.
So I come to work and do barely minimum, just from the clock in to clock out. If I drop the trash, I will not pick it up. Maybe I will kick it, but I will, and for sure I will not pick it up, the trash somebody else left, because it's not my job.
Right.
That's not my job. So trash was everywhere, dirty. Who cares?
Wow.
So employees didn't feel like they were part of the bigger picture. They didn't feel that their efforts would be noticed, no matter what they do. So we did few things to change it. Like I mentioned, regular all employee meetings and it's standard, it's safety, quality, delivery, but we also give our employees business updates. I think that this is the most interesting parts for them because they know what is coming. And they know that we have more business coming, that the company is growing, that gives them job security. So that's a very important message.
Yeah.
Another thing what we do, which I think it's maybe even more important, they are pre-shift meetings, daily pre-shift meetings. So the supervisors meet with the folks every day before the shift starts, just after their shift starts, before they start working on the assets.
Yep.
And they inform them about that we have today customer, we have today visitor, we will be running this part, this is the things which we have to pay attention to. So like day-to-day information.
Yep. The day-to-day tactical information that they need to know.
Yeah. But they feel that they have always chance to ask the questions and always chance to raise the concerns. So they feel that they are part of this process. Another thing I mentioned about creating better work environment, and just after we started to do all this cleaning, painting, we ask employees for help to maintain it. Mark from day one, when he came, he promised to create better working conditions, but in return, ask to respect it. Because no matter what we're gonna do, we can clean and paint. If employees will go and will not respect it, we ask them to treat it better than in their house, not just like in their house.
Yeah.
And you see, and it's been working. It's been working. There is nothing what has been damaged since it has been fixed, if you know what I mean. So it's been going good. And what is really amazing, when someone comes to visit SSP, somebody who was here maybe 5 years ago, people can believe that it's the same place. And we're still talking about 60-year-old facility. So and it's automotive and it's heavy stamping, metal stamping. So I haven't had a chance to see other facilities. I've been to many IKEA suppliers, but I haven't been to many stamping facilities. But we always receive very positive feedback about how the facility looks like.
That's great.
Yeah. Another issue, I think that the high absentees, I mentioned that, and it was a big challenge in our organization. And we implemented attendance policy. Attendance policy, very standard in HR world. I'm sure you heard, like based on the points. When you don't come to work, you get a point. When you late, half point.
Right.
But it was unknown here. Employees could miss work for any reason and no reason, as long as they gave today notice. So it was very disruptive for the operations, and no, we couldn't move on. We couldn't increase efficiency working this way. So again, it was a change, and it took a lot of communication, education, and flexibility. We had meetings about the changes, explaining reasoning behind it. We did also a lot of education about, just simple things like employees' rights under FMLA, because since employees could miss the job for any reason, nobody used FMLA here. So we did that. We implemented leave of absence. Basically, we created the structure. I always say, I understand the life happens. I understand that somebody can be sick. We wanted make sure that we don't have this absenteeism for not good reason. And that's what was important for us. And also, we show a lot of flexibility because we modified the attendance policy already a few times based on the employees' feedback. So we always try to work with employees and see what they see and what we can do to meet somewhere in the middle. Yeah. And now it's been 2 years since we implemented attendance policy. And, some employees may not like it still, but they understand the reason behind it. Yeah. And it's not main topic. I feel that it's the situation already settled, since it's not our main topic during all employee meetings or our coffee chats, focus groups. Because whenever we started questions, like a year ago, it was always like, why you cannot do. So it's not the case anymore. So I think it's also matter of the adjustment.
Yeah.
They needed time to adjust to the new rules, and matter of the flexibility, because we show flexibility and we made the changes to meet somewhere in the middle.
I like that. I like that a lot. What kind of key indicators do you typically look for to measure the health of a company culture like SSP, and what kinds have you used, or indicators, measurements have you used there at SSP?
So traditionally, we do employee survey, and I take it as a base. I think it's good tool, and I want to do it, and I think it's valuable. However, what we learn the most, and when we learn the most, is during focus groups. And
Yeah.
I remember from podcast with Mark that you were surprised that HR handles that part.
I do. I am completely. So, side note, I have a company, right? TCO Strategies, and I do engagement surveys and focus groups for manufacturers. And typically, employees are not as open when HR or leadership team in general is in the room. So I was super surprised when Mark said that you were the one who handles those. Talk to us a little bit more about that.
We have very good conversation during the focus groups. Maybe what is helpful, we ask for the volunteers. So we ask for the volunteers. There is the sign-up sheet during the all employee meetings, and we say, hey, we had the survey. These are the areas which we have to work on, and we would like to create the focus group. So who would like to join us, help us to understand, and help us to make it better? And we have employees signing up for the focus groups. But what I like to do, to kind of mix it up, I like to add employees. I always include the employees who sign up. That's must. Yep. Because they show that they want to talk, so we have to let them talk. But I want to mix it up and add employees. Just randomly choose employees and add them together with these volunteers. So we have kind of good mix. And you always will have situation that, it can be hit and miss if you choose randomly somebody, because some people just per nature, they don't feel comfortable talking in front of the people. So then I'm trying to do it, follow up with them. But it's not like you will receive feedback from everybody. It doesn't, I don't believe it matters. It's HR or it would be you or whoever else. They just don't want to talk. The personality, they are not very talkative.
Sure.
On the other hand, we have employees who love to talk. And but I love it, I love it because we have many action items coming from the focus groups. So survey is good, but doesn't let you to ask follow-up questions.
Yeah.
So, it's submitted electronically. You get report, you get the comments, and sometimes you sit and wonder what somebody had in mind by saying that. And there is no way to find out. So focus groups, we talk and trying to get to the bottom of the problem. Mm-hmm. So what's the reason why? And this works really, really, really well for us. So I love focus groups because it has a lot of energy, and I see the more we meet, the more they are not. It's not about complaining. I was like, okay, what we can do better, what we can fix. And we have action item list, and I take this action item list to our management review. We add them to our open items. We assign the champions, people responsible for fixing these things, and we are on it.
Wow. So this is, I love it. So this is how employee feedback plays a role in shaping the ultimate cultural shift of SSP. Is that correct?
Yes, but there are many ways. We foster open door policy. It wasn't like that before. Employees have always chance to come and see me. They have chance to come and see Mark, and they can see every supervisor, manager whenever they need to do it. We have always rumor mill, as we call it, at the end of each employee, all employee meetings. Mm-hmm. What employees like, we have asked the president. So there is a box, you grab the paper and you submit question to the president, to CEO. It's anonymously. You can put your name if you want to. And Mark answers these questions. We answer them together, and we submit that answers on the TVs. We have TVs located around the facility.
Sure.
So employees, they have chance to read it, the answers. And again, I always encourage, when we have all employee meetings, I was like, they are different avenues you can use to communicate with us. I prefer face-to-face because, again, it's the same survey like this as the president. There will be the question. The person for sure knew what person had in mind, but it's difficult sometimes for us to guess what is the question about. So we like to clarify, but it is avenue which employees can use. Yes, the questions through this as the president, the focus groups, we have also quarterly newsletter when we share information with the employees. You need to find the way how to get to your all folks. That's very important.
Wow. I love the blending of quantitative data from surveys and the qualitative data from focus groups and these open conversations. That's amazing. What other strategies have you used to boost employee engagement and cultivate that positive culture there?
What I like to do, I like to engage not just employees, but their families. So we have the picture contest and open house. So the picture contest is like when employees submit their like we ask for the spring pictures, all pictures in the Halloween costumes, and we reward employees and we post this picture on the walls. And this is also one of the ways, just referring to the previous question about tracking, about the key indicators. I like survey. There is the quantity to it, but I like to see how many participants we have in our contests. And you can clearly see that year after year, we have more and more participants. So that shows that employees are more engaged. And I had, and this is like a trend now between these two companies. Even at EBI, young company, I had the same situation. However, here, this participation increased dramatically. From the first to the second year, we talk about like 85% increase in participation. So that's amazing.
Wow.
We had I believe 140 participants in the Halloween costume contest.
140 people dressed up on Halloween?
Well, they send us the pictures. We don't ask them to come to walk in the costume.
I was going to say, wow.
I would love to do it, but it's safety first. We are walking around heavy equipment. I don't think we can. But even we have open house. So we did this. This will be the third year. First year we had 300 people coming. Second year 500 people. So you see.
Wow.
So it's really growing. Well, I have to say, if you haven't seen the movie from the open house from last year, you have to see it because I posted on LinkedIn. We had real Santa, personalized gift for each child, bouncy houses, food, games, choo-choo train. So you need to watch the movie.
I will. I will, and once I watch it, I'll post it on the manufacturing culture page as well because that's amazing.
I would love that. Yes. So this is, I believe that the part of the success of our success, they are our families, they are our spouses, they are our children. They have to put up with us at home after we come back from work.
Absolutely.
So I want them to be part of the success, and I want to engage them too. And and we celebrate things like small things like birthdays. I personally sign every birthday card, and this was noticed. That was noticed that it's not nothing printed. It's actually my signature, and such a long name I have. So it is a job.
Wait, how many employees do you have?
400.
400. So is there a day that goes by that you are not signing a birthday card?
So we do that monthly. So we to have structure, we do that monthly. So once per month, we look how many employees will have birthday this month, and I sign by the name a card for every employee. So basically every day there is somebody who has birthday. To your point, yeah.
Wow, that's astronomical. So let's talk a little bit more about work-life balance. You're a mom. You're a really awesome HR leader. But I know in my family, right? My wife, she bears a lot more of the burden of family, right? Even though we're partners in this. So how do you balance work and life yourself? And how does that personal experience help you shape the culture and SSP's policies related to work-life balance?
That's the tough one. I feel that most parents working full time struggle with work-life balance.
Yeah.
Especially when you work in the manufacturing environment with 3-shift operations.
Yep.
Additionally, your spouse works in similar environment. My husband is logistics manager in ZF Transmissions. So
oh wow, okay.
so fun. So the work really never ends. And I don't have really good advice here. In our organization, HR from home wouldn't work.
Right.
I feel that employees need us. We are here for them. HR is a service, so we are here for them. They are the ones making money, and we have to be here for them. So they need this interaction in person.
Yeah.
And of course, there is some flexibility to come to work late, leave early, or work from home, but it's exception when, for example, your kid is sick. But we don't have the rule that we work from home 1-2 days a week. We don't.
Right.
So I don't have good advice here, but we cherish the time we have together. We try to do always stuff with kids on the weekends and after work. But we are on the call.
Yeah.
I don't think. Again, I don't know any other leader, no matter HR leader or operation leader in 3-shift operation who does it differently. I'm also responsible for safety.
Right.
So safety is under my umbrella. So the work never ends. But no complaints though.
Well, and I asked that just, because you are wearing multiple hats, right? But I it's hard for leaders in the manufacturing space to justify working from home, right? When all of their employees are physically present every day in and day out. And I think that the pandemic really shined a light on this for a lot of people, right? Because to your point, a lot of people who work in manufacturing, their spouse also works in a similar field, an industrial field of some way, shape, or form, right? And so a lot of people, when preschools and summer camps and all the things and regular schools were shutting down, it was really hard for people in our industry, the employee level, to figure out, okay, both mom and dad have jobs that are considered quote unquote essential.
Yes.
So what do they do with the kids all day, right? So I think it's an interesting work-life balance that people may not think about in the manufacturing sense so often.
And maybe what for us makes it a bit even more difficult that we don't have family here. So when you are a foreigner and you don't have family, you have friends, but again, and trust your kids. You need to have somebody special to do it. So it is difficult, but we have learned how to manage. We have learned how to handle it, and since we do that together. As you said, we are partners in that crime with my husband, and we handle together.
Yeah, awesome. So talk to us a little bit about the relationship between compensation and benefits and company culture, not just at SSP, but in your experience, what's the correlation between the three?
I think it's difficult to create strong culture without good benefits, especially nowadays. It's the pay, but not just the pay, but the benefits as medical insurance. They are crucial for people. They are crucial for me. So obviously they must be crucial for other folks too. So what we do, we participate once per year in the local survey, collecting data regarding all kind of benefits. So this kind of helps us to see where we are. However, I feel that once per year used to be enough. Nowadays, I like to look into it a bit more often because market is so competitive. I remember you mentioned you came to our area, so you know that we swim here in the ocean with the big fish, like BMW, Michelin, Drexel, Magna. So we are talking about large corporations. So we have to stay on the top of the game. What I feel that differentiates us from these big corporations, that we are 400 people. I know, I would say most of the people by first name. They may have problems saying my name, but I know theirs. And this relations that they can come and talk to me, they can come and talk to CEO. I think that it's easier to get promoted, to be noticed in company with 400 people than 4,000 people. So this is our advantage. Of course, other companies, the big corporations, they have big names, and that attracts especially young talent. Because I didn't know SSP before I came to SSP. I heard about BMW, obviously, but I never heard about Spartanburg Steel Products. But just to sum up, yes, you need to provide employees good benefits. The medical insurance must be affordable, pay must be good. We significantly increase pay rates for our skilled trade because this is very specific part of our employees. We increase for a 1K match. What we added last year, pet insurance, I know that everybody does that now, but we added legal shield. This is very interesting benefit. It gives you access to the law firm. So they can answer questions regarding many personal situations, like you need will, you need prenup, you need lease agreement. They help with stuff like that by paying premium on bi-weekly, weekly, depending on your pay basis. So that was something new what we did starting this year.
Wow, that's really cool. And the ad of pet insurance was definitely something that wasn't in existence when I was an employee anywhere. So that's a wild thing. But we recently had to get it because we have a puppy that is a maniac and he'll eat anything from chocolate to jelly beans to squeakers. And that's a whole different story. We'll talk about it at a different time. But you talked about promotion, right? And I think that a big part of promotion is training and developing the employees. So have you guys taken on a culture of training and development? And talk to us about how learning and development, training and development has influenced SSP.
People are more engaged when they are given opportunity to learn, develop, and grow. People want to learn. People want to do more. I believe that many people, the more responsibility you give them, the more responsible they are. So, and I see that. So how was the journey in SSP? The first year, my focus was on mandatory trainings to make sure we are in compliance. That was the first focus in my HR mind. The second year, we started offering training for our frontline leaders. Because they are really face of the organization in employees' eyes. They interact with employees on daily basis. So we wanted to make sure that the frontline leads understand the importance of the role, that they know what they need to do to help them in that role, to give them tools to be successful. I feel that no matter what HR will do, executives do, if you don't have good experience on the day-to-day basis with your direct supervisor, you will not be happy in any of the workplace. So that was the focus. Moving forward, We want to offer additional trainings so employees can develop skills of their choice. So, for example, if somebody wants to take Excel, PowerPoint to maybe switch from the production towards admin, that would help for them to accomplish that. And we are working on the apprenticeship program for our skill trades.
Wow.
So again, we want to raise our workforces. We want to make sure that our employees growing with us. So last year, I calculated on average, we provided 13 hours of training to each employee.
Yeah. Wow. That's awesome.
Mm.
So as you look towards SSP 3.0, and it's a defined process now for you, which I wasn't aware of. But now that you have this plan, what are some goals or milestones that you're aiming for with this SSP 3.0?
So we will keep doing what we have been doing in big part, because I think that the worst thing you can do is stop doing something what employees appreciate.
Yeah.
And again, this is based on the feedback I received, because there were many initiatives and SSP years ago in the past, but they just stopped. So we have to be consistent.
Mm-hmm.
We add new things every year, and we will as we go. For sure, we want to focus even more on the training and development. We want to create pathways for our employees to grow with our company.
Mm-hmm.
As I said, we want to raise our workforces. We work with not just colleges, but vocational schools in the area. The goal is to train skilled trades in-house, provide apprenticeship. And what else? We have currently interns, and we want to have them every summer. And we want to expose them to different areas, different departments over the years in our company,
Mm-hmm.
so they can become our future managers. What I would love to have our children and grandchildren of our employees as interns. So, it goes back to family engagement. So have them here and work with them. We have many generations here working together.
Wow.
And we have grandparents, parents, and children working currently. So we would like to maintain it. But we would like to give people opportunity to grow with the company, because this is the best way how to engage them. So it will be definitely that the training and development will be focused for our years to come.
Absolutely. Wow. So you've given us a ton of things that you've done there. What are 3 initiatives that you have launched in your time at SSP at Spartanburg there that you can say have directly improved the culture for the organization?
Well, I will repeat: communication, relentless communication. You have to find the way how to communicate with your employees.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't do it, somebody else will. Rumors will take it over. And, all employee meetings once per month is not enough. You need to foster open door policy. You have to have the pre-shift meetings. If you can have communication on TVs, if you have them in the places around the facility, that's great. Different people like different avenues. Not everybody wants to talk. Not everybody is so open. So you need to find a way. This is our job. This is our job as executives, as a leadership team, to find a way how to get to our employees, to make sure that they understand and to receive feedback from them.
Got
so
it.
I think that's the one thing. Another one, to me, is intentional and meaningful employee recognition. So, when I came to SSP, it was important to me that in order to create culture of accountability, we have to start documenting things, documentation in HR. So documenting infractions. And we have done a lot progress in that area. However, it must be the balance. So human tendency is to point out things that went wrong.
Yeah.
So it is learning curve to see and celebrate things that that went right. And it doesn't have to be anything big, because it's easy to see big things. They are obvious, they are big, so we see. But it's skill which you have to also develop to notice small things,
Right.
and discretionary effort. And this is one story from the focus groups which comes to my mind. We talk about recognition and the need for more recognition. An employee said, I took pieces of scrap and he shaped them like in the hook as a hooks, and he used them to organize boundary samples. So it didn't cost nothing. It didn't cost a penny, because he used the scrap pieces. He could probably walk around with the broom, but when there was downtime, but he actually give thoughts into it. He shaped this scrap into the hooks. He organized the boundary samples, and he shared that with the supervisor. And he didn't feel that supervisor, I'm sure he said, okay, good job, but he didn't give him enough attention for it.
Yeah.
So I like to share this story with our supervisors now, to see that they are small things, but nobody asked him. He did it all by himself, all on his own.
Wow.
So this is very important to notice and celebrate. So what we do, our employees receive the letter to files, and they also receive this in this kind of situation. So I follow up with this employee, and I made sure that it happened to him too. So he received the letter and certificate that he could take it home. We take a picture and we include in our newsletter, and the employee receives the gift card and some swag from company swag. So again, to celebrate the small things. Not everything what we do will bring $100,000 savings. It's not about that.
Right.
But we easily see that somebody, I don't know, put the tools in the wrong spot. But we need to also be able to see that somebody took this initiative and make these hooks. So this meaningful, I like to call it meaningfully intentional, because we talk a lot about employee recognition, and I think that everybody understands the need for it, but we don't give enough focus. So we have to definitely, all of us, we need to work on it.
Yeah.
And the third thing, which I think it's shaping our culture, it's the community outreach. We participated in 7 different initiatives last year, and they were 7. Yes, 7.
Wow.
And I feel people want to feel needed, and people want to help, especially in their community. So, and we picked as simple as the food drive. We had food drive, of course, but we had also drive for the feminine products for the homeless shelter. But what we did, we bought a few hundred Valentine's cards, and we asked our employees to share positive thoughts. And we sent part of these cards to there is organization they called Valentines for Veterans. So we send these cards to veterans. And we also partnered with the local nursing home. When residents in that home, very often they don't loved ones anymore, unfortunately. So we delivered personally these cards to them with the small gifts, and that was impactful.
I'm sure it was. And the I can only imagine the smile that puts on the employee's face, not only the recipients, right, but just the employees, knowing that the company is working towards more than just stamping auto bodies, right?
No, absolutely. And we always give, and whatever we do, whatever we ask employees to participate, then we share with our employees how many cards we delivered, how it happened. If we have pictures, if we can share the pictures, we do it too. And we always include that information in our newsletter, because our newsletter, I didn't mention, but this is a hit. Like, our newsletter is a hit. We issue quarterly, and it's very, very popular. I think that the reason why it's so popular, because we have beautiful live events in that newsletter. And so I like to talk, because we always ask employees to share beautiful life events. And I always say, like, whatever makes you happy, if your grandchild graduates kindergarten or college, it doesn't matter. You're getting married or you're getting divorced. So I always make this joke. I'm like, whatever makes you happy.
Whatever makes, I like that. I like that a lot.
We share that. We include in the newsletter, and just employees are proud. The pictures of their kids, of their grandkids, nieces, nephews, they are on the walls around the facility, and people, stay and they look and they point out, and they happy that they are part of the company. So
that's awesome.
Yes, but going one more thing about the community outreach. Which also measures the involvement, that measures the employee engagement. That we have the most measurable is the donations to the Salvation Army Angel Tree program. First year, I think we had less than 100 gifts. The last year, we had 300 gifts we donated. So,
wow.
so again, I like to look at the things like that to see, because surveys once per year, and these things happen more often, and you can feel how employees really feel.
I love it. I love it. Magdalena, I think you and I could go for hours. So last question I'll ask you, what are some parting thoughts that you have for our listeners? Is there anything that you want them to remember or make sure that is front of their mind when creating healthier cultures or cultures that fit their organizations?
Yes, I talk a bit about flexibility. Absolutely flexibility. When you create new policies, procedures, be open-minded, be flexible, be open for feedback. I think that this is crucial to have successful culture. And again, our communication goes both ways. It's not just us as a leaders talking; it's receiving feedback, being open for this feedback.
Mm-hmm.
I think that they are the things which they are very important.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. I love it. Well, thank you very much, Magdalena, for being on today. I can't thank you enough. I do think that there needs to be a third episode of SSP between the conversation I had with Mark that I don't think really had resolution. Our conversation that could go for hours. Maybe it needs to be, like I said before we started recording, a video or something of that nature. We'll figure it out. But thank you so much for being on today.
Jamie, it was my pleasure. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So folks, this brings us to the end of another exciting episode of the Manufacturing Culture Podcast. We've literally traveled across a globe. We've navigated cultures, different industries, boardrooms, all through the lens of our absolutely brilliant guest, Magdalena Domzalska-Pol. We've explored the DNA of Spartanburg Steel Products culture, the indicators of a healthy company culture, the role of training and development, the relationship between benefits, company culture, and of course, the stellar initiatives that Magdalena has implemented to ensure SSP's culture thrives in the future. As you navigate your own corners of the manufacturing world, we hope that the insights that Magdalena shared today will be a valuable resource to inspire and guide you. Remember, every nut, bolt, and gear in your organization plays a part in shaping your culture. Just like Magdalena, you too can create a workplace where passion, efficiency, and innovation are not just buzzwords, but a way of life. To revisit this episode and explore many others, please visit us at themanufacturingculturepodcast.com. We've got an array of episodes with industry people waiting to share their wealth of knowledge, experiences, and strategies with you. While you're there, you can also subscribe to our newsletter and get behind the scenes content and updates right to your email inbox. But I have a favor to ask everybody. We need your help to keep this ball rolling. We encourage you to share this podcast with your friends, colleagues, and anyone that you really would benefit from these conversations. And if you've enjoyed what you've heard, please take a moment to rate and review the show on whatever platform you listen to. Your feedback not only helps us improve, but helps other manufacturing enthusiasts find us. So until next time, thanks for joining us. Thank you to our amazing guest, Magdalena. And remember, have a great day and keep making things.